Hi there everyone, Rob here with today's Western Pacific weather update, and I do want to take your attention to the South China Sea today where there is an area of low pressure starting to spin up down here, and actually JTWC has called this a TCFA, or a high chance for development by that agency, but JMA has declared this a tropical depression. Actually, they put it on the maps last night here. Now, this is right in here. You are seeing this area of convection continuing to spin out across the South China Sea, and actually around the Spratlys today, you have seen upwards of 100 millimeters of rainfall, and also convection continuing to spill in from the south, really surging up around the counterclockwise motions of this system. So Borneo as well has seen upwards of 100 millimeters of rainfall. So flooding conditions being seen up and down the coastline here from Palawan down towards the northern portions of Borneo, and even including portions of Visayas due to a combination of this depression and also the fairly strong northeast monsoon through here, which is causing an abundance of upward vertical motion. And actually right through this entire area here, I'll see all these areas in the reds and yellows. Well, that's indicating upward vertical motion or vorticity or positive vorticity. Therefore, you're going to be seeing a lot more convection or thunderstorm activity out across these regions. And look at the overall background flow. These arrows kind of pointing out towards the west-southwest. Well, that's also the general flow of the tropical systems out here. So with that said, the system is currently lingering here around the Spartly Islands in the South China Sea, but it's going to start making its way off towards the west. So therefore, by the latter part of this week, rainfall is really going to start kicking up there in the southern portions of Vietnam as well. But if we look at model consensus, there is a split here. GFS is really actually pulling off towards the north and actually going up towards about the eastern portions of Vietnam here. But if we look at the no-gaps model here in the top left, that actually dips the system down following that background flow and eventually pushes off towards the southern portions of Vietnam. So with the lack of significant and strong steering flow out here, the system is still remaining very stationary. So the direction and exact motion of this overall tropical depression is going to be very slow. So the cone of air is going to be very wide just due to the lack of steering flow out here. And these two models are just clearly indicating that. And if we look at JMA's 09 UTC warning on this, it does have the direction moving ever so slowly off towards the west, central pressure at 1000 HPA, so not a very deep system. And like I said, really the combination of this tropical depression and the northeast monsoon across the entire region here is why you're seeing such heavy rainfall totals, and the potential for flash floods is definitely going to be there. But also the risk of landslides in some of the upper elevations on those steep slopes across the Visayas and heading over towards Vietnam as well is going to be there. So could be a hazardous, dangerous situation, even with this only being a tropical depression with winds of 30 gusting 245 knots. But let's look at the Malaysian radar, and you do see some of these areas across much of eastern Malaysia here. All these areas in green and the darker greens are indicating these very heavy rain showers out there. And also, as you can see, some banding wrapping around coming in and out of the radar coverage, and that is due to the tropical depression just off towards the northwest. So all the flow continues to push on shore. So even including Kota Kinabalu, you could be seeing some hazardous condition and flooding, especially in some of these low-lying areas where poor drainage is occurring, and you get that water really starting to pool up in some of these regions, and especially in the metropolitan or the city there. So with that said, let's pull back. You do have the tropical depression down here towards the south, but across much of the rest of Western Pacific, high pressure is actually going to be ridging in here out of eastern China. That's going to be producing some fair weather out across much of Japan, including Korea into Thursday. Know that Wednesday there was some reports of thunderstorms up and down the western coast here. Mainly that was due to orographic lifting. A few of it straight over to the eastern side. Narita actually reported a thunderstorm for 1 hour out there. But see, that low is going to quickly skirt off towards the east. Behind that, high weather is going to be setting in. And really behind that, there's not really nothing very significant until another low starts to develop up here, and then basically pushes off here towards northeastern China. That's going to be bringing some rain showers out there as well. So just kind of mundane, the typical stuff you do see out there towards the north, but starting to see a little flare up of tropical activity at the same time. But that is all for right now, everybody. Thanks again for listening here at westernpacificweather.com. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, as always, please post them in the comment box below. Thank you. Have a great day.